Welcome to Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by FantasyGuru.com. Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. Ray Flowers breaks it all down for you from a fantasy sports perspective. The world as we know it has ended. Twitter is not working well this morning. What shall we do with our lives? I am Ray Flowers of FantasyGuru.com. Thank you for finding us, for joining us today here on the show. It might be a little bit more difficult than normal because, again, Twitter has been sporadic all morning. As of right now, it's not even working. There it is. There we go. Now it's saying that Fantasy Guru site has never posted, which is kind of interesting because, yeah, we know we've sent thousands of tweets out from there. But anyway, thank you for finding us today. We really appreciate it. I am Ray Flowers of FantasyGuru.com. This show is here with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We go about an hour each day. Then from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, you got the Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio Show, the Elite Sports Show with Jeff Manns. So we got 3 hours there, 1 hour here, 4 hours a day of talking, plus live streams and other things we do over at FantasyGuru.com. I'm with you here on the show Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays. Justin Frenchman hosts on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm on Sirius XM with Jeffrey Manns. We got a banger of a show today. So much to talk about here. Let's just immediately get it up on the screen there. You can probably see it behind me. That's right. The draft guide is available at FantasyGuru.com. So we'll give a little refresher course on that yet again. We'll talk a little bit there. We got a pack, our final baseball card pack to open up today. Let's see if we can get a card that tillates a little bit. We'll talk about the MLB's incoming strike. Unfortunately, it's coming. We'll talk a little bit more about that, predicated on the Dodgers spending, just to use it as a foil. I'm hearing reports from my coworkers that Mr. Bo Bichette has just signed with the Mets. Again, I can't verify that because my Twitter's not working. Here we go. Bo Bichette and the Mets are in agreement. 3 years, $126 million. These players taking these big number contracts, but not year-long contracts. 3 years for Bo Bichette is really low. He'll obviously hit free agency yet again. $126 million. Wow. All right, so here we go. They're making it happen. The Mets got their second guy after they didn't get their first guy. The first guy being, of course, Kyle Tucker, who has signed with the Dodgers. We'll talk a little bit some baseball news. Some football news, looking at the playoffs. And then we'll visit in about 25 minutes with the one and only Russell Clay. He's our dynasty guy over at FantasyGuru.com. We'll talk the rookie running back class. Remember, all through the month of January, we're going to have him on every Friday talking rookies. We'll talk Ashton Jeanty, Omarion Hampton, Judkins, Sampson, Henderson, RJ Harvey, and Kaleb Johnson. What happened to Kaleb Johnson? We'll find out with Russell J. Clay. All right. 2026 MLB Draft Guide is available. For those of you on Twitter, lots going on this morning. The Draft Guide's available. I've been running around all morning trying to get things going, trying to get the rankings set up right and everything, all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is the Draft Guide is available right now at FantasyGuru.com. For those of you on YouTube.com, remember, there's 3 ways you can watch the show live or on demand. Any of those 3 ways that you can check us out. You can watch live or any other time that you want. If you're watching live, you can leave comments and questions, all that kind of good stuff. Twitter X at Fantasy Guru site, Facebook.com/FantasyGuruHQ, and YouTube.com/@ElitePlusNetwork. YouTube.com/@ElitePlusNetwork. On that YouTube page, you can scroll down in the description and find a link to the 20-minute podcast describing the Fantasy Baseball Draft Guide. Okay, so I did a 20-minute podcast. It's free for everybody. You can go check it out. Way more detail than we're going to go into on the show here, describing what the product is, what we're going to do, all that kind of stuff this year. Rankings, make a note. Sorry, I got something else I was just thinking of. Lots of things going on. But yeah, we got the rankings up over at FantasyGuru.com. We're going to have, by the end of the month, Dynasty rankings, points rankings, Mixed League rankings, AL only rankings, NL only rankings, auction value for NL, AL, and mixed. We'll have the rookie rankings will be out the first week of February. We'll have category rankings for different things on the site too. The standard 10x10, standard 5x5 categories. We'll have rankings for that. We'll have the Solds rankings later on. We have all the research articles. We've got the editorials. We've got the look back to the 2025 season. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? We have a look back at the rookies from last season. What happened there? We have overall looks moving forward for the rookies. We'll have rookie rankings, as I noted. We'll also have rookie scouting reports for hitters and pitchers. We'll have our top 50 rookies for the year. There's a lot of excitement there around the rookies, the youngsters. We'll have the draft book, which combines rankings and auction values in one tool. We'll have that. We talked yesterday on the show about the Smash Report. Maybe I didn't mention the Smash Report. It's definitely on the podcast. The Smash tool, the Advantage tool, proprietary information that will help you be successful on a daily basis. Really fantastic stuff. So check out that podcast for all the ins and outs. Right now, over at the site, click the subscribe tab in the top right corner. Send any emails that you have about any questions to support@fantasyguru.com, support@fantasyguru.com. We'll get everything rocking and rolling today, get things populated, get things going. But again, dependability grades, power grades, solds rankings, rookie rankings, dynasty rankings, points league rankings. We got a lot of stuff over there at fantasyguru.com. All the rookie reports, the articles talking about the analytics that you need to know, what are more important than others, the combination of factors that we put together to kind of build the ideal player. All of that is available to you starting today over at fantasyguru.com. Get over there and sign up. And again, if you have any questions, if there's anything you don't see, if you have questions, when you sign up for the product at fantasyguru.com, don't forget, you get access to the Discord room. So you get access to me and the entire staff. And whether you sign up for the seasonal baseball product, the DFS baseball product, or the wagering baseball product, all three of the products, you can buy one of them, two of them. You can get all three, go all in. The all in is like 50% off right now. Pretty much, not quite 45%. It's basically 50% off. So you can do the all in package and get everything we do for everything baseball, DFS, betting, and seasonal. But for all three of those sections, whatever you sign up for, you get access to the Discord room to ask any and all questions you might have. If you don't see something, if you got a question about how something's working, all that kind of stuff, hit us up in the Discords, or you can always send an email to support@fantasyguru.com. By the way, let me make myself a little bit bigger here. Let's see. Look at that. There we got Corbin Carroll and Jackson Chourio, our poster boys this year. We doubled up. So two guys for the price of one on the draft guide over at fantasyguru.com. But basically, we'll have an article out every single day now from now until the season begins. Sometimes more than one, most days more than one, at least here in the early going. But there'll always be constant updating. The rankings will be updated as needed, which will be on a daily basis over at fantasyguru.com. All right, let's talk a little bit about what is going on. Let's throw it back up on the screen. The main. There won't be striking coming. And this is sad, okay? Because this is, we've been talking about this a lot. The bottom line is, and there was a big story about this in The Athletic the other day. The two sides are not in agreement. The Players Association and the owners, all that kind of stuff, they're not in agreement. Players want more. Owners want more. Owners want a salary cap. Well, here, and David, you're asking, we're going to get right into it right now, David. David's asking, I find it disappointing for baseball that Tucker went to the Dodgers. What are your thoughts? Major League Baseball, at the end of this season, the CBA expires. It is universally regarded as the end of business for baseball, meaning that there's going to be a strike. Almost everyone inside baseball, as of right now, has a hope that there won't be a strike, but the belief is that there will be a strike at the end of the 2026 season. Why? The owners want a salary cap and a salary floor. Players might want one, might not want the other. There's negotiations here. The bottom line is the players get less than 50% of the revenue. In the other major sports, the players all get 50% of the revenue. So the players should get a higher percentage of the revenue based upon how the other sports are run. Secondly, though, it's time that Major League Baseball figures out how this is going. What the Dodgers are doing is acceptable, legal, and it's the way the system is set up. For those of you that missed it, Kyle Tucker, $240 million last night. What the Dodgers are doing is perfectly legal. It's perfectly acceptable. Deferred money, all that kind of stuff, that'll probably come up in the new CBA. But right now what they're doing is all legal. The problem that baseball has is you have some teams like the Dodgers who print money in the basement, right? They're worldwide phenomena. They're winning all the time. They've got international players, all that kind of stuff. They're spending here and other teams aren't spending here. It's bad for baseball. What the Dodgers are doing is bad for baseball. And it's going to push. It's not the reason there's going to be a strike again. There was going to be a strike. Everyone's expected that for the last year and a half. But what the Dodgers are doing yet again with Kyle Tucker is just another further nail in this coffin. The Pittsburgh Pirates, the other day signed Ryan O'Hearn to a 2-year, $29 million contract. That is the largest contract the Pirates have ever given in their history to a free agent. $29 million. The largest contract they've ever given to a free agent was Francisco Liriano. They gave him $39 million. For those of you watching, wherever you might be watching, check out your screen now. Okay. Largest contract ever given to a player by the Pirates, $29 million to Ryan O'Hearn. The largest contract ever given to a pitcher, $39 million to Francisco Liriano. Here are the current contracts currently on the Dodgers, not in the history of this team, currently on the Dodgers. $700 million Ohtani, $365 million Mookie Betts, $325 million Yoshinobu Yamamoto, $240 million Kyle Tucker last night, $182 million Blake Snell, $162 million Freddie Freeman, $140 million Will Smith, $137 million Tyler Glasnow, $74 million to Tommy Edman, $69 million to Edwin Diaz, and $66 million to Teoscar Hernandez. The Pirates in the history of their organization have never given a free agent contract of $40 million. Okay. The Dodgers currently have 4 players at over $240 million. This just doesn't work. It demoralizes fans. It turns people away from the sport. It's just not good. It's just not good. So, I mean, Ethan said, I didn't do the math either. Ethan said, I just did the math, $2 billion to 2047. I mean, Ohtani and Betts are over $1 billion right there, right? And you add in Yamamoto, Tucker, these other guys, we're over $2 billion. Yeah. $40 million has never been hit by the Pirates. The Dodgers have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys at over 65 right now. Chris is right. The luxury tax the Dodgers are paying is help funding smaller market teams and revenue sharing pool. So what is the incentive for smaller markets to spend? That's also part of the issue, right? If the Pirates aren't spending any money, but they're still making a few bucks, why would they spend more money? So the bottom line is, I think for the good of the sport, so we don't lose the fans, so we don't lose the teams, all this kind of stuff. I'm a free market guy, right? I'm not a big cap or floor kind of guy. I think they got to do both. They just have to. It's not good or healthy for the sport to have it the way it is. It can't just be free reign, because the Dodgers are spending other teams into the grave. And again, what they're doing is perfectly legal. It's nothing wrong with it. They're not breaking any rules, but they're spending other teams into the grave. There are 10 teams in Major League Baseball that have absolutely no chance ever to win. Ever. It's not happening. That's bad for the sport. In football, teams win 4 games this year. Next year, they win 9 games and make the playoffs. Basketball, you make one huge signing of a player, you get a secondary player, all of a sudden you go from 36 wins to 51. You can't have teams spending 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times as much money on their salaries, even with paying a luxury tax. It's just doesn't work. So the Dodgers are the poster boy for why this isn't going to work. I think on the other end, the Pirates are one of the teams why it won't work there either. But the bottom line is we've got less than 12 months till a strike likely occurs in Major League Baseball. Let's hope that they can sit down and come to an agreement and understanding here. I'm very dubious that that'll be the case. Very dubious that'll be the case. But we'll see. Maybe that'll be something that they can work out, and I'll be wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Really hope I'm wrong. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. We're getting reports here, by the way. And again, I mentioned Bo Bichette earlier. He's gone to the Mets. 3 years, $126 million. Reports are he's going to play third base. Obviously, they've got Francisco Lindor with opt-outs. So he's got a 3-year contract with 2 opt-outs. Didn't we just go through this with Alex Bregman? That's another thing teams have to stop doing, is giving opt-outs. It's just absolutely ridiculous to give opt-outs, because guys take the opt-out. Anyway, not good for baseball. All right, let's talk some football here. We'll get and visit. We'll visit with Russell Clay in about 15 or so minutes here. Oh, no, before we do that, what am I saying? We got a pack. $2025 Chrome Topps Series 2. It's the last pack. 7 packs in a box, 6 cards a pack. Our best card thus far is a Fortune Ohtani, which is like a $20 card. Is there something good in here? there's something magical. This updated, basically the updated set that we used to call it when I was a kid. It's teams that have traded for players in 2025, rookies that were called up, that kind of thing. So it's the midseason pack. Okay. I don't see any super. We got one insert there. There's a yellowish card on the side. We do have an insert. We have an insert. Let's see what it is. First off, Drake Baldwin rookie card. Baldwin had a phenomenal season last year. He was going to play a little bit, and he was going to share the catching duties with Sean Murphy. Then Sean Murphy obviously got hurt, and Baldwin took on a very high-level profile position, and now he's a top 10 catcher in fantasy, if not higher than that by some people if they're prognosticating out. Phenomenal rookie season. We got a rookie card for Mr. Baldwin. That's a good one. We'll take that one. Cam Smith is our second Cam Smith rookie card. Cam Smith, again, part of the Astros organization, expected to be part of their daily lineup this year as he was last year. Struggled a little bit last year, but they still have high hopes for him to become a daily player. How interesting is that? Braxton Ashcraft, Pirates. Who cares there? I see I'm going to save our insert into the last card because it's really applicable. Alejandro Zuna has got the little, fancy cardboard, fancy checkerboard insert there. Willie McIver, cool looking uniform, A's, yellow. For those of you that are into the yellow, I don't know if everyone is. Finally, how crazy is this? Our insert card, 35th anniversary, is a Kyle Tucker old school Topps card. Look at that. Again, the light's not directly over me, so it's kind of hard to get the real good color. But there it is. You can see it. How odd is that? We got Kyle Tucker. Let's do a quick Kyle Tucker. What is this? Kyle Tucker 35-year Topps. Let's see if Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker Chrome 2026. Let's see. No, that's not the one. That's not the one. That's not the one. Oh, man. I don't know what this is worth. It's probably not worth anything. But hey, there it is. $30. It's on sale for like $30. So hey, that's the most expensive card we got. It was 20 with the Ohtani previously, but Kyle Tucker, for those of you that missed it, now part of the Dodgers. And we will see how that goes. All right. Let's talk some football here. This is a great day, by the way, for the internet to go down and not work. And I'm looking at the numbers here for our show. This is like the lowest membership we've had in terms of viewers and listeners ever. So thanks, Twitter. Really appreciate that. Really helpful. As we have the great news about players, we're talking about contracts. We're talking about the ability for us to sell the draft guide over at fantasyguru.com. Remember, that draft guide is a full season baseball product. You sign up now, you get all the coverage all throughout the regular season. It's not just right now. It's all throughout the regular season. Support at fantasyguru.com if you have any questions, or just click that subscribe tab in the top right corner. Get after it, folks. Let's go. Let's talk some football here now on the show. We'll visit with about 10 minutes from now, Russell Clay, talk those rookie running backs. Got a lot of news kind of breaking. Let's see what's going on here. See if I can get any breaking news this morning. Jesse Minter, Cal Stefanski. Someone's going to get a good coach. I don't know why is Arthur Smith getting all these head coaching? It's just bonkers to me. Absolutely bonkers to me. Mike McDaniel's yeah, okay. So no breaking news stories that I have seen thus far. Again, it's 9:20 on the West Coast time. Let's start out with the news that broke yesterday of Sam Darnold having an oblique injury. Oblique injuries are a thing. We know they're a thing in baseball. And why is that? What's this 10-second clock happening here? We have a 10-second clock. The provider we use, StreamYard, has now got a new tool here that you can click on it lasts 10 seconds. Why don't we just show it? That's really weird. I got to figure out why. How do we turn that off? Interesting. So anyway, the Major League Baseball draft guide only pops up for 10 seconds and then it goes away. Show. That's a weird one. We'll have to figure that out. Anyway, Sam Darnold's got an oblique injury. He is confident he's going to play. This happened. This came out, and people got nervous because all of a sudden we're talking about an oblique. An oblique injury is something that can hamper a player long term in a significant way. Right? In baseball, we see it happen all the time. Guys miss 4 to 6 weeks. Less likely to miss that extended period of time in football. But a quarterback, obviously, it's very similar to throwing a baseball, right? The motion, you have to use your torso, all that kind of stuff. Darnold says he's going to play. He said there's basically a 0% chance he's not going to play. So he's going to play. The question becomes, how effective is he going to be with an oblique injury? They'll shoot him up probably. They'll do everything they can to get him ready. But, it's one thing to sit out there and throw the ball in warmups. It's nothing to get hit, to have 250-pound guys land on top of you and all those kind of stuff. So we shall see how this is going to play out. Weather could also be a factor. I haven't taken a look yet, but it could be cold. What's the weather? Let's Seattle. I know that the weather in Chicago is supposed to be like in the 20s. Saturday, the weather is supposed to be 50 degrees, 45 degrees. So it's not that bad, not that cold in Seattle. But we'll continue to watch that storyline because obviously they would be Drew Lock or Milroe. Do they probably bring in Lock if something happens? I would have to think it'd be Lock, given his professional experience. Well, Milroe doesn't have it. But that is something. I mean, they only scored 13 points against the Niners last time out, did the Seahawks. So obviously, Darnold, for the second year in a row, has led his team to the playoffs and all this success. Good to hear he's likely to play, but keep an eye on the reports today. There's always a chance something happens late, last minute, and he's not able to play, but we're expecting him to play through the injury right now. Ricky Pearsall on the Niners side of things is being listed as questionable. He's been practicing in a limited capacity. I guess he's going to play this week, as we've talked about all the time with him. It's been a storyline that we've hit here on the show for the last month. He could go 5 for 80. He could play 5 snaps. We'll see. He told reporters that he landed straight on his knee and he just can't take tackles like that right now. He has to adjust how he plays the game and be wiser by getting out of bounds. So basically, it's something he's going to catch the ball and run out of bounds. We'll see. This is a really, really interesting scenario with him. The Niners obviously desperately need him. Demarcus Robinson really stepped up 100 yards and a touchdown last week. But as we talked about all season long, the loss of Ayuk, who never played this year. I've got Jennings and you've got Pearsall. Those are supposed to be their 1-2s, as we discussed earlier in week 1. Ricky Pearsall had 4 catches for 100-plus yards, 108 yards, I think, against Seattle. They would love to have him back with the Niners to face that Seattle team. We'll see if it can become a reality this year. Nico Collins, this is a big one. And, Nico Collins is somebody that is a star in this league. He's a fantasy star. He is obviously somebody that you simply can't look past if you're looking at this team. I don't know if he's going to play. We just don't know if he's going to play. And that's a real legitimate concern. Higgins is the guy that would take his spot in the offense. Hutchinson would probably see a larger role because there would be a need there. But Higgins is the direct replacement for Collins if you're doing one-and-done leagues, that kind of thing. But Collins dealing with that concussion. Never likely he was going to play this week, given that he just had the concussion a couple days ago, right? Starting to look that way as well. He's being called a long shot to play. It's nature of the head injury. They want to be sure. They want to be safe with him. So Nico Collins almost certainly will not play this week. The big hitter last week was 144-1 for Christian Kirk out of the slot. Can't expect that again, but you can expect the veteran to see some more substantial work in that matchup with the Patriots, because it does indeed sound like Collins is going to be out. But again, remember, Higgins is the replacement there. We'll see how it goes for that team. A difficult matchup anyway with the Patriots. On the Bills side, the Bills take on the Broncos this week, obviously. Dalton Kincaid, who's got, I guess it's a knee and a calf. He's got a leg injury. He's in a walking boot a little bit earlier in the week, and so there was some concern there. He's being removed from the injury report for the Bills. So Dalton Kincaid will play this week. What does that look like? I mean, he normally doesn't play a huge complement of snaps anyway. He basically plays the passing down snaps, which is pretty unique for a guy that's pretty significant in the fantasy space in terms of the value, because there's many games where he plays 25 snaps and gets 6-7 targets. So he doesn't have to play every snap to be effective. He is the preferred option. It's not Haas. It's not Knox. It is Kincaid. His performance has been hit or miss, obviously, throughout this season, but he's somebody they look to in the red zone. And it sounds like his leg, though not at 100%, will be good enough to allow him to play this week for the Bills. The Bills will be without Shavers and Davis. Both those wide receivers tore their ACLs last week and are done for the year. Wild. They both tore their ACL in the same game. Ty Johnson, the running back who we've talked about, he's got an ankle issue. He got in limited practice yesterday. He's being listed as questionable. He didn't play last week, and he didn't really practice last week. Hasn't really practiced this week. Let's hope we get some confirmation that he's actually going to play. I'm still dubious right now. My guess is that he won't play. Ray Davis is obviously a very capable backup. Continue to follow that storyline there, but it seems likely that Ty Johnson's not going to play. Though again, it's 9:30 on a Friday morning here on the West Coast. Speaking of the Seahawks, one other final note there. Elijah Arroyo, the young tight end who's making progress and has had his window of 21 days opened. So theoretically, he could return to game action. He's not going to play against the Niners this week. That's been announced. So I'll look for A.J. Barner, as he has been the last month and a half, to be the top receiving option for the Seattle Seahawks. Some overall football news before we visit with Russell Clay and talk some rookie running backs. Patrick Mahomes, who tore his ACL and all that kind of stuff, his doctors said that there's a chance he could be ready for week 1. Would I put it past Mahomes being ready for week 1? Absolutely not. Would it be a hurried return? Yeah, it would be. And we have so many hurdles and milestones and so many things to go through. Franchise face the NFL maybe. Like, you can't have this guy come back too early and blow his knee out again. So this is a storyline that we unfortunately will have to hear updates on 412 times over the next couple of months. But right now, Mahomes is hoping that he's going to be ready for week 1. I think all of us are hoping that's a possibility. They'll be very cautious and careful with his recovery. But I wouldn't put it past him. And for those of you that missed it over on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, again, remember Elite Sports is Monday through Friday, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm on Tuesdays and Wednesdays with Jeff Manns. We did talk. You can find all the old shows on demand and everything too. We talked about the quarterback position. We gave who's a replacement level player, who's our starting level player, and who are our franchise quarterbacks. We did that on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we actually had a quarterback draft. So for all that quarterback information, you can find the show on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. And you can also find the Far Too Early rankings. Jeff Mann has his 2026 Far Too Early rankings, also available right now at fantasyguru.com. You can still sign up for the football product. Right now, it's $19.99 the rest of the way. The only thing it does not include is the Super Bowl betting guide. That $19.99 gets you access to all the seasonal football coverage, all the DFS football coverage, all the betting football coverage. So basically all the articles, live streams, chat rooms, all that kind of stuff, everything but the Super Bowl betting guide, $19.99. Get in it if you want to check it out over at fantasyguru.com. Okay. Todd Archer says it's very likely that Brandon Aubrey is receiving a second-round tender as a restricted free agent this offseason. Aubrey, number 1 kicker in football, right? I mean, I think it's pretty clear he can nail 58-yard kicks in his sleep. It's about a $6 million cap hit if they do extend him that. Apparently the Cowboys and the agent for Aubrey have been having discussions, and I can't figure this out. We'll see. Does Brandon Aubrey reset the kicker market in a substantial way? Yeah. I mean, he is a weapon, and unfortunately, we still use kickers in football. And if you needed a guy to make a kick at the end of the game, maybe it's Little, maybe it's Aubrey, but he's definitely in that mix. Speaking of Little, let's talk for a moment about the Jaguars, who obviously had that horrible end of their season this year in the playoffs. Florida Time Union's Ryan O'Halloran thinks that Travis Etienne is done. Travis Etienne had another very strong season with this team, catching passes, running in the backfield. They have LaQuint Allen, who would probably become their number 2 next year. Their number 1 running back next year would become Tootin. Bashel Tootin would be their 1. Allen would be their 2 if they did indeed let Etienne go. Now, Etienne's in a scenario where they're paying all this money to a bunch of other guys. They paid Myers. They've obviously have paid Trevor Lawrence. We'll see. That'll be a fascinating story to watch. If you have Tootin in dynasty leagues, maybe this is going to pay off pretty quickly for you. If you have Etienne, wherever he goes, he's likely to be the lead back if it's not in Jacksonville. But as we have seen in Jacksonville, that is a backfield that's going to have success with Liam Cohen. So it would be nice for us to have Etienne there. That's a storyline we'll continue to follow, obviously, as we get closer to the start of the season. What does this team do with Etienne? And what does this team do moving forward in the game of football? I'm Ray Flowers of FantasyGuru.com. I'm still checking Twitter X. Twitter X is still not working for me. So I appreciate all of you who found the way to the show today. Russell Clay is nodding his head. I think his Twitter is down too. It's been intermittent. We're dying. Cats and dogs living together. The sky is falling. Oh my God, what do we do? All these reports I can't follow. I'm getting updates from people. I guess Twitter's intermittently working throughout the universe. So some people are able to view Twitter. So we got the updated information of Bo Bichette to the Mets. It's going to play third base, 3 years, $126 million is the numbers I saw. I'm not verifying that because I can't get on Twitter, but that's what I have seen. Opt-outs in the contract, crazy. Head over to fantasyguru.com right now. For those of you looking to sign up for the baseball product, it is available. It dropped today. Remember, in the description below, you can find a link to the podcast, a 20-minute podcast describing everything about the draft guide, everything you need to know about the draft guide. So if you're still a little uncertain whether you want to click that subscribe tab in the top right corner, check out that intro podcast, which explains what we're doing over at fantasyguru.com. All right. Every Friday, we visit with Russell Clay of fantasyguru.com. He is our dynasty guy. He's the fellow that does the dynasty rankings, that helps answer all those questions for you in the Discord room when you're talking about keeper and dynasty leagues. And in this month of January, we're going to review the rookies and how they did in 2025. We're up to the running back position. When you can see there on the screen, we got a bunch of big names to talk to Russ about. So let's get to it. Let's talk some kickers with Russell Clay of fantasyguru.com. Russ, how you doing today?
Oh, swell. How are you?
Good. I like you got a new background there. Yeah.
Ray, with Twitter down, we control the narrative right now. These people are at our will. We could make up anything right now, and they trust us.
We could. We do also, as I noted here, have the lowest numbers of viewers we've ever had on the show. So great timing for the release of the draft guide product. But I know everyone will get over to FG still. But yeah, isn't it weird? Like you become like for better or worse, Twitter is the medium we use for sports, right? The sports writers use it. We use it for information. It's really weird when it's not working, right?
There's a lot of baloney on Twitter nowadays, but when it comes down to it, it is still my first click when I hear news, and it is still by far the best medium to find that news. So time for Blue Sky. I check in there every once in a while.
Right.
I got a lot of buddies over there who have switched over. I don't have a dog in the social media fight. But no.
I have a at the Ray Flowers. I have a Blue Sky account that I try to keep up with it, but yeah, I don't keep up with it as well as I probably should.
Yeah.
All right, Russ, let's talk some rookie running backs, and we'll start out at the top. Ashton Jeanty was drafted first or second round. You and I have talked about him a lot. He was very productive for a rookie, still missed expectations. So much is changing with the Raiders, quarterback maybe, coaching staff, all that kind of stuff. How did Ashton Jeanty do? It was really tough to feel down about him. His team was just awful this year.
So if we strip it all down, floorboards, house, everything, all that carpentry talk that I don't know the terminology of, 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. Pretty darn good for a rookie. And if we strip it down and just look at him compared to rookie running backs the last 20 years, he's probably going to be top 10 to 15 in rookie seasons. So now if we have my nice little pretty spreadsheets, we can say Ashton Jeanty had a good year. If we live through the season, we know it was not fun most of the year. He had 2 really good games, a lot of mediocre games, and some really bad performances. So in terms of this, I'll give his rookie season a B. But going forward, there's so much volatility. We have to love the raw parts that are on the Raiders. And if they get a good quarterback, say they draft the rookie Mendoza, and they build around that O-line, I still think that rookie pick is going to be really, really strong. So that's where we're at.
What about Omarion Hampton? Like that whole situation, got messed up with Najee Harris getting signed, and then Najee Harris getting hurt, and then Hampton started well and then got hurt. And how do you assess? I mean, if you look at the far too early rankings over at fantasyguru.com, Hampton's high on that. I know you're high on Hampton too. How do we assess his rookie season? A lot of stops and starts.
Below 0. It's the worst possible. Everything just went horrible. This is awful. But doesn't change my future analysis of what he is. The jokes going around about this Chargers offensive line since the playoff loss, pretty good content there. But man, couldn't get much worse. Doesn't change that I'm still very high on him. So it will change how some people view him. It will not change how I view him. I'm still very, very high on Hampton, the player, the prospect, the future fantasy stud. But yeah, we got to get a better offensive line there for Harbaugh and Justin Herbert and my boy Hampton.
It's really hard to know because there's obviously will be changes. But if you had to choose one, Jeanty or Hampton, right now today, who you choosing?
Hampton. And I want both. That's the real answer.
Right.
The odds that, both end up doing well is really high still. But through 1 year, all we know is injuries in the NFL for him. So not fun.
Dislocated right ankle, fractured fibula, 4 to 6 month recovery time for Quinshon Judkins, uncertainty at the quarterback spot, uncertainty at the wide receiver spot, uncertainty on the coaching staff. Solid numbers for a rookie this year, but again, 3.6 yards a carry. How do we assess where he's at, and how worried are you about the injury that he suffered late in the year?
Very unfortunately. There was a very, very optimistic Browns fan in the TikTok live a few weeks ago saying he's going to be back for the beginning of the season. Like he's going to be fine. Like nothing's wrong. They're getting optimistic reports. This injury he suffered isn't even that bad. Well, for me, the last time I saw him, his ankle was turned the wrong way. And everything looked terrible. So I'm going to lean on the other side of this and say that this is going to be rough and multi-year, and I'm getting J.K. Dobbins vibes, and teams move on from running backs quickly when we see injuries like this. I don't know. I hope for the best. I love what I saw in year one, even though the efficiency wasn't there, just because this offense was just brutal.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, I can't be optimistic right now. I dropped him down a lot. I think they move on at some point.
You don't know. But Nick Chubb shell of himself after a significant injury. Like it happens quick. I say it a lot. Even these guys that are stars, there's not much that separates them from the other guys. And, that little extra you've got, sometimes the injury, you come back from it, you never get that little extra back. And it can change your outlook from, hey, this guy's going to be a Pro Bowler to a guy who's running back 3 or 4 on his own team. Let's hope that's not the case with Judkins.
And they drafted one of my favorite players of that running back class, and Dylan Sampson behind him.
Yeah, talk about him.
Yeah.
What do we? Because Sampson had some moments this year. He definitely had some moments, but they were very sporadic, right?
Yeah.
He dealt with some injuries himself. He didn't get a lot of opportunities. Only had 65 carries. It's kind of strange that they double tap the running back like that, in my opinion. In theory, these are two guys that could be their running back for the next 5 years or whatever. How do we assess Sampson, and is his outlook in the dynasty space increasing because of the uncertainty with Judkins?
So here's the problem. He's the clear handcuff to Judkins, but now that Judkins has had a major injury, I look at this like, look at Jonathan Brooks a year ago, right? He gets that major injury. They're already moving on. They re-signed Chuba. They bring in Rico Dowdle. Now, is there a glimmer of hope for my boy Jonathan Brooks? And my boy, he's not my boy, but I'm rooting for him now. Maybe. But we just see it. Running back, they move on so fast. Look at Kyron. They're already moving on from him, and they're not even moved on from him yet. So, man, I would really hope they don't draft running back this offseason and just bring in some vet. But you got to keep your head on a swivel with all these guys. If Sampson, as you mentioned, had all those injuries, are they thinking, you know what? We'll just draft someone else and all these guys are expendable. So I hope not. I hope Sampson gets a chance to be featured to begin next year. But I'm telling you, I've played this long enough where I now know there's no guarantee.
Russell Clay, fantasyguru.com. You're a dynasty guy. You do the dynasty rankings update on Wednesday. You do it on your TikTok. What's your TikTok account? The people you mentioned earlier, what's the actual account?
Russell Clay.
Russell Clay. Okay, on TikTok. He sits there and spends some time with y'all having a back and forth is talking about the players and the rankings and all of that. Broader picture before we continue on with the running back class here. Broader picture is the running back position. You said it multiple times. Is it one where, in Dynasty, like, are you more leaning toward quarterbacks and wide receivers because they have a longer time horizon? Like, how do you handle? Because we know how this goes. Every year in the rookie draft, the first 5 picks, one of them's a quarterback and the rest are running backs. Like, that's often, especially this last year, there was a lot of excitement about the running back class, and a couple of them hit, a couple of them were blocked, a couple of them were crap. Like, it wasn't a really good showing for the running back position.
So overall, again, if we strip it out and just look at this running back class, this is a phenomenal running back class. For fantasy, only 3 or 4 or 5 were really helping our lineups. And so this is the battle we fight with running back, where yes, like Woody Marks is a huge hit. And he was what? RB 25?
Yeah, right.
Left every game, had a lot of sub 10. So I have such a hard time with this because a lot of these guys are hits and they still aren't fantasy relevant.
Mm-hmm.
We need the Jonathan Taylors. That's why when I'm looking at Omarion Hampton, it's like, okay, this may not work, but I know if he stays healthy, we're going to get that volume like Jeanty, right? So it's the, what are your expectations for these guys? Now in best ball, Woody Marks was a hit. In best ball, Judkins, 6th, 7th round, probably
6, 7.
Yeah. But like you said, for what we're looking for in a season-long league, I mean, it's so hard to get more than a few. So yeah, for most classes, we're just not going to get that. And even in what was a good class, we really got 4 or 5 and then a bunch of wish-wash the rest of the way. So adjust your expectations for what we're getting. So this is one of those where I think year 2 is going to treat this running back class better, but, we have had classes like 2018 where we had Nick Chubb. You mentioned he had a few good years, but we had a lot of guys like J.K. Dobbins where great prospect, bang, injury right away, career changed forever. So that's what we're looking at. It's fighting with ourselves on these running backs always, but I still have some hope long term.
Russ Clay at fantasyguru.com joins us Fridays at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. The first 8 games of the season as a rookie were not good for TreVeyon Henderson. He averaged about 7 PPR points a game. 7, not good. Second half, totally different. The workload increased, the production increased. We saw a couple of huge games against Tampa Bay and the Jets, back-to-back 2 touchdown games. In the end, the numbers for a rookie, again, really good. Over 900 yards on the ground, 9 touchdowns, like really good numbers. We remember back to the kick return in preseason, all that. I'm not going to say that he lived up to expectations in some circles because he didn't. But he did come on in the second half of the season. His future's very bright. Talk to us about TreVeyon Henderson.
Incredibly bright future. Again, we're having 2 conversations today. 1,132 yards and 10 touchdowns is phenomenal for a rookie running back, especially a second rounder. Is it what I wanted? No. I wanted Ramondre Stevenson off this roster. And, Ramondre finishing off the season with 38 fantasy points and really scoring touchdowns.
18 touchdowns in 2 games.
Look great in the playoff game too. Right. Like, I mean, I got to give it up to Ramondre, man. He really rallied and played great this year, but it really destroyed the upside that I was hoping was going to be there. Overall, I'll give it a B. It was just really hard for us this year to find weeks to start him. And if you didn't get those right weeks, now he did open it up for us in the right weeks for the most part. But again, you were sitting on that asset for the first half of the season. And, those first 8 games without him, a B, maybe a B plus. I'm really happy as like a TreVeyon Henderson guy, like long-term, this is going to be really good with Drake May. but it was a B.
Yeah, and Stevenson's got a contract still, right? Yeah, he's still got a couple years left.
I get that feeling. Same feeling you got, Ray.
Yeah.
Feels like he's going to be around, right?
And that's a really interesting thing too, because it shows how, again, a lot of people were pissed off with Henderson, right? Some people may have even dropped him after the first 2 months, legit, right? And it's a reminder with these young players, you got to give it time. The running back position is one where you, in theory, come in, you don't miss blitz pickups, and you read a hole. That's not that hard to do. Like the tight end, there's a lot going on. Wide receiver, the quarterback. So in theory, the running back has a pretty good shot of day one being involved if the team wants to utilize him. But they had Ramondre Stevenson, a good football player, an established player. We saw them stick with him despite his 412 fumbles this year. So what are we doing with Henderson? If you had to guesstimate, what's his touch count going to be next year? He had about 215 touches this year to TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah.
Is it 250 next year? 275 next year?
I do think he's going to be the lead back. I would say 250 to 275 is really fair. And on his type of role, that could certainly work for us for 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns in this type of offense, right? With Drake May, it's not going to be as easy next year. That historically bad quote, it's all the narrative about this Patriots schedule, but it was true to an extent for fantasy. When you look at who they played, it's a lot of 20s to 30s. The Jets and the Dolphins, that won't change next year, but they might be a little better. And some of those teams, Titans, won't be that next year. So it could be a little rougher schedule.
Just under 200 touches for another rookie that took a long time to find his role with his team. We all felt J.K. Dobbins will be effective for the Broncos, and unfortunately an injury will happen. J.K. Dobbins was effective for the Broncos, and unfortunately an injury happened. So eventually R.J. Harvey really took on a more pronounced role for this team. Scored 12 touchdowns. 12. It's a huge number for a rookie. Same time, 3.7 yards a carry, and even down the stretch when he was scoring, getting in the end zone, he wasn't doing a lot. There was a lot of touches, but not a lot going on. Week 17, 20 touches, 76 yards. Week 18, 16 touches, 33 yards. That's crap. But he got in the end zone 12 times, and you could see it with him, the burst, the excitement. Talk to us about R.J. Harvey, Russ.
One of the weirder rookie results I can remember, ever. This is a receiving running back prospect who's known for his explosiveness.
Right.
And there was no explosion in year one. He was a goal line scoring, dump off, scoring these touchdowns mostly on wide open defense forgot about him type touchdowns. And I'm an RJ Harvey guy, and I was really excited about him this year. And much like TreVeyon, I'm going to give him a B because when you look at the fantasy points at the end of the year, he's a top 20 fantasy running back. So when we look at where they were drafted and where they ended up, they did end up right around ish where we were drafting them. The problem is, you mentioned it, these touchdowns were coming on 7, 8, 10 touch games where he was getting 30 yards, and those big plays weren't happening in the running game and the big plays weren't happening in the receiving game. So the one thing with this, sometimes when explosive weapons don't, Le'Veon Bell, not an explosive weapon, but he ended up being a highly efficient runner in his career. In year one, he was 3.4 yards per carry. I wouldn't value that too much, especially we know what type of player he is. I think they're going to figure it out a lot better in year two, but man, weird year one. Sean Payton loves messing with us, and there will probably be another running back with him for his whole rookie contract.
If you look at him in weeks 8 and 9, he had 15 touches and scored 4 touchdowns. To your point,
yeah.
And what I found really interesting too, and again, this is Sean Payton being a doof.
Yep.
Harvey was basically the third down back while Dobbins was healthy. Then Dobbins got hurt, and Harvey became the first and second down back and wasn't the third down back. Like, how is he the receiver? Like you said, this is his profile. He's the third down back, and then Dobbins gets hurt, and he doesn't play on third downs. And they eventually got him back out there on third downs. But it was Beatty, it was McLaughlin. Weird, wasn't it?
Very weird. Very Sean Payton, though. But not even, right? Because he knew how to use Darren Sproles and Reggie Bush and like all the Pierre Thomas and like. So I don't know. And Kamara, like you would think that's what they brought him in for, but I guess because Dobbins was out, he was the only guy they thought could do the 2-yard plunges.
Russ Clay at fantasyguru.com. One final situation to ask you about. Steelers spent a third-round pick on a guy that was 6'1", 225, who was going to replace Najee Harris. Seemed perfect, right? Perfect. Touchdown, win, everything like that. He's going to get an F grade from you because, it's just how it played out this year. Obviously, later in the year, Warren and Gainwell became this great duo, and it was just stupendous work, and Johnson couldn't even get in the field and all that kind of stuff. What are we doing with Kaleb Johnson? Like, dynasty leagues, you're holding them, you're dropping them, it's over. I mean, they love what they got out of Warren and Gainwell. Warren's got to sign a contract extension, so he's going to be around for a few more years. I think Gainwell's got he needs a new contract, but they're going to want to keep him around. I think he was the team MVP. What are we doing with Kaleb Johnson? New head coach, could complete new system could come. What are we doing?
I call Kaleb Johnson and Roman Wilson the healthy scratch gang because it's Rodgers. He's 41, 42. They bring in Arthur Smith, who's known for just absolute shenanigans, right?
How is he getting all these head coaching interviews, by the way?
So I like Arthur Smith, the play caller. Fantasy, it's a disaster. And in the playoffs, it doesn't work. But he does some pretty cute stuff in the regular season that, as a football fan, you can laugh at. Like the Kenny Gainwell being a complete featured weapon. It's kind of fun. The Patterson thing was fun, even though I hated it in the moment. But yeah, a lot of shenanigans going on. But it wasn't just running back that they were using veterans. It was also wide receiver. I mentioned Roman Wilson. They brought in Adam Thielen and instantly made Roman Wilson a healthy scratch.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in MVS. This was clearly a setup for Rodgers and that final hurrah with Tomlin, who is now gone, and Rodgers, who I imagine is either retiring or not on the team next year. So this was we're going all in. We need guys who are vets, guaranteed snaps, know where they're going to be on the field. I'm not as low on Johnson as I probably should be. This is just a redshirt Rodgers final hurrah year. So I still like Kaleb Johnson. I think he's a good prospect. Totally new regime, though, as you mentioned, which could mean they bring in their guys. Kaleb Johnson, not going to be the guy who they brought in there. So we'll see.
Buying on the super cheap?
Yes,
yeah,
I will
right.
be. Yeah. But understand, it could just be a zero. Could be nothing. Could be done.
A reminder, folks, by the way, for those of you that love draft picks in dynasty leagues, what can happen? We just talked about a lot of running backs. All these guys remember the excitement this year was about the running back position in rookie drafts. 50-50 here. And this is the top end, guys. This isn't even.
That's right. A lot of getting taken out to sea with the taken out to sea there.
Be careful getting picks. Your thoughts, by the way, we haven't asked you on this show. Tomlin or Harbaugh, more surprising to you? Which one heading out?
Neither.
Oh, wow. You thought both guys were going to leave.
It's over. I mean, I think both are great coaches.
Right.
The time had come. I thought this Ravens run was over 2 years ago, personally. They kept getting a ton of hype with Super Bowl and Lamar's amazing, but the juju, when I watch these games, it's like they blow like 30-point leads so often. There's a certain point We saw it with the Chargers a few years ago where the locker room's just gone. Andy Reid washed out with the Eagles. It had that same exact feel to me. It's not they're bad coaches. It's not Harbaugh. Harbaugh's a great coach. It just felt like it ran its course. How long he'd been there? Like 15 years? Just
18. Yeah, I think.
Tomlin, same thing. It's just, it was done. It was done. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't say I was like expecting it, but now looking at it now, it's like, yeah, it's over.
Twitter's back. Yes.
It's back.
Our lives are okay. Gonna be able to live today.
There you go.
I was a little bit nervous. How much baseball? I know you watch-ish baseball. You've been following all these free agent moves and things like that, or nah?
I have fun with it. I'm the casual of casual, so I have a few things on my timeline. So I saw the guy signed with the Dodgers for $250 million.
Cal Tucker, right?
Tucker, the Red Sox guy. And I know
we opened a pack up this morning.
Oh,
and we got a Kyle Tucker.
That looks shiny.
It is. It's one of the chrome. It's a chrome.
Ooh.
It's an insert. So it's the old. It's 35-year-old tops. 1990 top. I guess that's the cards in 1990.
There you
go. Yeah,
go.
It's $20, $30. Anyway, go ahead.
But,
yeah, we got him. Bo Bichette went to the Mets this morning.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
third base.
So I will tune into a few Mets games every year, not knowing anything. And I like Pete Alonso. And they'll have all these guys that I know, and they're like 20 games under 500. And I'll be like, what's going on here? Why? Like, yeah, like they have, I know their whole lineup, and then they're not great. So that's my Mets knowledge.
Apparently, Bo Bichette signed a 3-year deal, and he has 2 opt-outs. Your feeling on opt-outs, I think it's the dumbest thing ever done in the history of the sport. If you were to sign a 3-year contract and you can't tell me you want to be here for 3 years, I'm not signing you. Like it's 3. We just saw it happen to Alex Bregman. He went to the Red Sox. They gave him the opt-outs. He got out. Now he's with the Cubs, like you noted earlier. I think the opt-outs are absolutely horrendous.
Well,
if you were the owner of a team, would you get one?
I'm a college football fan, so we're watching people commit to things and then leave, and then they will commit and then they will announce their transfer in the next week. That's what we're dealing with college football, and literally 10,000 people are in the transfer portal. So I don't understand any of it, but yeah, opt-outs feel like very strange contract jargon to me.
A final question for you. I don't know the answer to this. What do the top guys make in college now? They make $3, $4, $5 million. Like, what are they making?
So much money. I think I saw one of the quarterbacks $6.4 million. So Ray, the big thing with college sports now is all these guys are staying as long as they possibly can. We're seeing 5th, 6th, 7th year seniors. The one guy in college basketball got drafted in the NBA. He's like, wait a second, hold on. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a good thing, but it is wild to watch.
What a mess. Russell Clay of fantasyguru.com, who does cover college football when that's in season. He does do that for us over at fantasyguru.com. As you can see there on the screen, head over to FG right now. Click on that subscribe tab in the top right corner to sign up for the fantasy baseball products. We're rocking and rolling. It is available. Drop today. So check that out. You can always send an email to support@fantasyguru.com if you have any questions. If you want to still get some football coverage, don't worry. We got you covered there. $19.99 the rest of the way. The only thing that does not include is the Super Bowl betting guide that gets you all of our football coverage for the rest of the playoffs for seasonal DFS and betting. So if you want to kick the tires, find out what this is all about, read some of Russ's work, talk to him in Discord, hit us up, sign up for the all-in football plan for the rest of the season. Russ, as always, thanks for your time today. We'll continue to rock and roll with you on Fridays. We'll continue to talk rookies and kind of do this review thing with you. And hopefully we'll find some player positions that are more stable than the running back spot that was, again, it's a big disappointment this year, right? Overall?
For redraft, I would say for sure. Yes.
Russ, Twitter X at Russell J. Clay, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
He's on the live stream most Tuesday nights. Still doing the live stream on Tuesday nights, right?
Yes,
Football?
sir.
7 o'clock Eastern time? Yeah. He's very shy, but he's not shy when he's hosting. So he's just letting me talk a lot here. Russ, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ray.
You got it. He's Russ. I'm Ray. Don't forget to go to SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio for the Elite Sports Show. I'm sure Jeff Mans will have a lot to say. Haven't talked to him this morning. I'm sure I'll have a lot to say about baseball and contracts and the strike and all that kind of stuff after the Kyle Tucker news and now the Bo Bichette news. 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday is that show. We're here with you Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on this show. On Monday, I'll do what I always do. I'll review the game action from the weekend. We got these 8 teams still left in the NFL playoffs. We'll talk about that on Monday. We'll start to dive into a little bit more baseball talk. Maybe we'll talk some free agency on Monday. We'll play it by ear. For Russ, I'm Ray. This has been Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by FantasyGuru.com. Get over to FG. Sign up for that baseball product now. It's available for 2026.